Hi, everybody. It's Kanisha, the Beauty CPA, and I am coming to you to talk about systematizing the accounting and bookkeeping in your beauty business. Okay, so I know it's late, especially on the East Coast, so I will not keep you long, but I thought it was important to come on to talk about how we can systematize accounting and bookkeeping function in your businesses. Okay, so for one, I know that you all more than likely find it very tedious, boring, time consuming, just like a very unsexy thing to do to sit down and do bookkeeping for your business. I mean, like, I get it, right? But it is something that we cannot ignore if we're going to be in business. And it's something that we have to do to properly manage our finances because we really do want to keep our eye on the cash, on the money. We don't want any surprises, right? So, you know, it is more likely that you will stick to doing the bookkeeping and accounting for your business if it was in a system, right? And it's even more likely if that system involved some type of automation, right? So that you wasn't manually having to do everything. 73%, over 73% of businesses do not have any type of bookkeeping or accounting. This is small businesses too. We all know mid-size and huge corporations, of course, they have financial functions, right? That's what they're all about. I mean, obviously, they sell a product or a service, but cash is running their business and they wouldn't be able to function properly without it, right? They got to pay people, they got to pay rent or leases. They got to pay and make sure the money's right for the business to even function. So, of course, they have systems in place in their businesses. But for the smaller business, for whatever reason, for a variety of reasons, there is no type of bookkeeping or accounting function in their business. And that's unfortunate because the next statistic I'm going to say is most small businesses fail because of cash related issues, right? So that is not like a coincidence that over 72% of small businesses don't keep up with bookkeeping or accounting in their business, yet most of them fail because of cash related issues. If they were following a budget or keeping up with accounting and bookkeeping, probably would have caught that issue. So, and I do not want that to be you, which is why I come on here and I give, the tips and tricks and just very useful information so that y'all know money important. Money is important in your life with or without a business. So, your business is no different. Cash is king. You got to keep your eye on the cash. So, I'm going to give you some information about how you can go about starting to implement a system, a routine in your beauty business for accounting and finance tasks, right? So, what do I mean by creating a system? What do I mean by systematizing your accounting and bookkeeping in your beauty business? All a system means is that you're creating a routine, a process and a procedure to do a set of tasks on a regular and consistent basis. That's literally all the system is. So I don't want you to get intimidated when I say system. I'm not talking about something super, complicated or overly complex. No, a system is just a routine, something you can do at week after week, day after day to manage your finances, okay? So I'm going to go into some steps that you guys can take to start to systematize the accounting and bookkeeping function in your business. The first thing, and I know y'all gonna like roll your eyes, so it's good that I can't see y'all, but I sound like a broken record right now. You know what I'm gonna say? You need to get an accounting system, a bookkeeping system, okay? And I mean a literal system. So either you can choose an Excel spreadsheet for your bookkeeping, or you can go ahead and do a cloud accounting system like QuickBooks or Xero or FreshBooks. It's a lot of options out there. Some of them, if you're smaller, are free to use at first. I really like QuickBooks. That's what I use exclusively within my firm. But you got to choose one or the other. You got to choose either Excel or QuickBooks. And what this is going to do is the bookkeeping system is the tool that's going to capture all of your financial transactions, right? So money in, money out. You go, you make money, you go, you spend money. You're going to capture all of those financial transactions in either, a Excel bookkeeping system, or go ahead and use QuickBooks. What you decide is up to you. Let no one push you into one bookkeeping system or another. You got to do what works for you and your business. I've seen situations where beautypreneurs, they went and got QuickBooks because somebody kind of pushed them that way, right? And then what happens is they got into QuickBooks. There was a huge learning curve, and they didn't hang on to it. They didn't stick with QuickBooks. And so they ended up not keeping bookkeeping in their business anyway. If you're not ready for QuickBooks, or you're not willing to learn QuickBooks, don't do QuickBooks. Go ahead and start with a really, really good bookkeeping Excel spreadsheet. When I say spreadsheet, don't just think I'm talking about some plain willy-nilly spreadsheet. There are some very robust bookkeeping Excel spreadsheets out there with visualizations and dashboarding so that you can see at a moment's glance how you're doing financially if the records are up to date. So don't just think like it's Excel. Don't sleep on Excel. Like, it's Excel, but it's some really good Excel templates out there. I got one for you, so you got to get a bookkeeping system. That's first and foremost, because you need somewhere to capture and track money in, money out, all the financial transactions, right? Okay. So after you go ahead and got your bookkeeping system in place, we got to pick a realistic schedule of when we're going to do these tasks, right? Now, I do not have a daily task, right? I don't think you should be like doing accounting every single day. But there is one thing I want you to do. I want you to look at your money. I want you to look at your cash. How much cash do you have? If bills came through, do you have enough money in the bank to cover any expenses that may occur that day? Okay. And then number two, I want you to see who you got on your books that day, how much they're supposed to pay you, how much are you supposed to make that day? Because when you look at that, when you wake up before you start your day, you look at your books, you see all your clients, what they're coming to get from you and how much it costs. And let's say you're supposed to make $700-800 for the day. I want you to know that in your mind, first thing in the morning. So when the day ends, in your mind, you can say, hey, do you have $800 as planned, as you thought? That's the only thing I want you to do daily. I want you to do that daily. You have to. You have to. Okay? All right. So we got to pick a realistic schedule of when we're going to do weekly, monthly, quarterly bookkeeping. Okay? Let's say if you know that you don't work on Sundays and Mondays. For me, people I go get my hair and nails and things like that too, that's typically their weekend. It's Sundays and Mondays. But whenever you're off, one of those days got to be like a CEO day, a CFO day, a management day, where you're not doing your craft on a client, right? But you're still doing things that manage, scales, and grows your business. Managing your finances is one of them. And I want you to stick your finance time in that day. Finance stuff will not take you all day. It should not take you all day. Should not take you 4 hours. It should take you half a day. At the most, 90 minutes. At the most. And it may be a little slower at first, but the more you do it, you'll get quicker. But it shouldn't take any more than 90 minutes, okay? But pick one day a week month and quarterly that you're going to do this. So let's say, like I said, if you're off Sunday and Monday, maybe you want to pick Monday. That's your CEO day where you're doing things that manages your business. And then you're going to just slide finance in there. Give finance a 90-minute slot. And that's when you're going to do your bookkeeping every single Monday. Pick a good time. I want you to get real specific. Pick a time. Monday at 11 a.m. every Monday from 11 to 12:30, you're going to do finance related things. That's what you're going to do. Put it on your calendar to repeat every single Monday. If it's a holiday, you'll skip it. Fine. If you're sick, you'll skip it. Fine. But on a normal basis, that's your day. That's your finance time and day. Mondays, 11 o'clock to 12:30. That's an appointment that you will keep hella high water. That's your routine. So now you're going to say, okay, after you got your day and you got your time, what are the specific accounting tasks that you're going to do on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and an annual basis? Now, I already said daily. There's not really much. I just want you to make sure you got enough cash in the bank and then realize what your daily sales goal is. But other than that, there's nothing to do daily. So start with weekly. What are you going to do weekly? Every Monday at 11 to 12:30. I got some suggestions here. Number one, record all your financial transactions. Now, if you are doing like a QuickBooks, this will likely be automatic for you, which is a good thing because you're more likely to stick to it then, right? Because if you have QuickBooks, your bank fee, your business account, have a business account, your business account bank feed, or if you're using one of these other like merchant accounts or one of these other systems, PayPal, Stripe, Square, any of that, you can connect that to QuickBooks and it will feed this data in for you. Now, if that's the case, if it's regardless if it's automatic or not, you're going to go into your system, whatever you chose, either a bookkeeping Excel template or QuickBooks, and you want to record and review all of your transactions from the week. You want to make sure that money hit. You want to make sure it's in your bank, one, and two, you recorded it. It's in the books. For any money you spent, you want to make sure those transactions are in the books. If you're using Excel, you're going to have to record it in. Or if you're in QuickBooks and your bank is connected, it'll flow in automatically, but you still got to go make sure that is right, that it hit. And then for anything you spent money on, organize the receipts or the invoices. Put them in a cloud folder, Google Drive, or whatever you use, Dropbox, called Receipts, 2020 Receipts. If you want to get super neat and organized, do it by month. December 2020 in a receipts folder, and drop all them receipts in that folder. Drop all the receipts in the folder. And then how about this? If you have any bills you need to pay, go ahead and pay the bills. If they're not automatic, go ahead and, go to whatever site you got to go to and pay that bill. And then I want you to look at the following week's sales goals. Because last week we talked about making a budget. So everybody should be operating off a budget. So when you sit down and do your weekly finance stuff, and you just got done doing everything I just said, recording transactions, reviewing transactions, making sure you're organizing your receipts from everything that you bought. I want you to look at next week's books. What client is booked with you, and what the service they're getting, the money you're gonna get, and see what that weekly sales goals is. Because then now it's here. Now it's here. You're projected to make $1,000 this week in the next 5 days or more. Should be here. Okay. Now let me go to like maybe some monthly tasks, right? For your monthly tasks. Now, how are we going to schedule the monthly tasks? When the month closes, You will do your weekly stuff and you'll do your monthly stuff. So that fourth Monday, I'm going to stick with my Monday example. That fourth Monday may be a little longer because not only are you doing your weekly stuff, but you're doing your monthly stuff too. So at the close of a month, you want to balance, you want to reconcile your bookkeeping system. You want to make sure that all the transactions that flow through what you recorded matches your bank statement. You want to make sure you got all your money, right? If you recorded, $3,000 for the month for providing services to your clients, your bank deposits for the month should say $3,000. I mean, of course, unless you have some other stuff for making money somewhere else for whatever else. But again, we're just talking about bookkeeping, if it's for your business, it should be recorded. So we got to make sure the bookkeeping system matches the bank. Now we got to do that monthly. If you have inventory, you want to review your inventory. Do you have enough for the next month? Do you need to order more inventory? At the end of the month, I want you to review how you did. Remember, last week we talked about operating off of budgets, our financial roadmaps. So every time a month closes, you got to wait till the month close. So don't do it like at the end of the day, the last day of the month. Do it like the next day. Review how you did. Did you meet your sales goal for the month? If you did not, you have to know why. From a business perspective, why didn't you meet your sales goal? Okay. And then quarterly. What are we going to do quarterly? We're going to review our budget, make sure we're on par. If you are selling product, you likely need to file a sales tax return. If you don't need to file a return, because some people are monthly and quarterly, it depends on how much money you make. If you're monthly, file your sales tax return. If you're quarterly, go ahead and look at your books, calculate how much you've collected in sales tax, transfer that to a separate account so you don't accidentally spend it. I see it happen all the time. Move the money to a separate account, out of sight, out of mind. So when the quarter closes, you can go ahead and file that sales tax return and you have the money because you set it aside already. Quarterly, you guys want to file estimated tax payments to the IRS and to your state. A lot of people don't file quarterly. They wait to the end of the year. This is not an option. This is mandatory. It's law that you have to file a quarterly estimated tax payment if you're self-employed. That's law. That's not an option. Quarterly and yearly is not like, oh, I'll pick what I want to do. No. So I don't know if how many of you realize that when you wait to the end of the year, you pay a penalty. Are you okay with paying a penalty just because you didn't want to pay quarterly? So that's what you do quarterly. That's one of your accounting tasks, is you file estimated tax payments. And then on an annual basis, you will, of course, do an inventory review. You'll do another budget review because it's the end of the year. So you want to see how you did, and you want to compile a new budget, and then it's tax time. From the state and from the feds, it is tax time at the end of the year. So those are some accounting tasks. You do them on your preferred day and time every week. If it's the end of the month, and that may be a little longer. And if it's the end of the quarter, that may be a little longer too, but that's okay. Make that a routine. Make that an appointment that you will not miss. Now, once you all get into the hang of this, here's what I suggest. Write down what you do on a weekly, monthly, and quarterly basis. Write it down. Write down what you do so that when it's time to do it, or if you ever get to a point where you want to delegate this or you want to outsource this, you have a standard operating procedure or an SOP within your beauty business on how you manage your finances. Write all this stuff down. Write down exactly what you do, every step. Okay, I go to this file on my computer or in my Google Drive. I pull this, And then I go ahead, I go to this merchant account. This is the username and login. I pull this blank report. I pull that down. I reconcile this to my Excel spreadsheet or my QuickBooks file. Write down step by step what you do so that every time you do it, you're following the same routine and it will become second nature. Like you won't even have to look at the procedure or the process after a while. And then if you get an assistant or you hire somebody, you can just have them do it. You can just hand them the standard operating procedure and then you're good. If you don't want to write it down, better yet, I don't write nothing down. You can like record your screen. You doing this work, record it. And then you just got the recording in your business, in your files, as a standard operating procedure. And then my last tip, guys, is you actually got to do this. You got to actually use and follow the system that you just created. You got to do it. You got to do it. That's like if I came to you for a beauty service, for my estheticians out there, if I come to you, I'm having an issue and they say, you know what, Keisha, okay, here's your skin routine. This is the routine I want you to follow. And this will make the issue you're having better. This will improve your skin. Follow this skin care regimen. Follow it. And we're going to do a follow-up in 3 months. Am I going to get better skin if I don't follow the system? In 3 months past, I ain't did nothing. Should I expect for my skin condition to change at all? Right? Or if I go to a hairstylist and I've got like my hair breaking and they come up with a suite of products and a routine, but I do nothing, nothing's going to change. I'm being in the same predicament after 3 months. So guys, those are my 5 tips to systemize bookkeeping and accounting in your beauty business. I know it ain't sexy. I know this is not sexy. I know, but it must be done. It must be done because if it's not, you find yourself in a predicament where you don't have a handle over your finances, and that is not a good place to be if you're a business owner because the cash runs the business. So if there are any questions, now is the time to ask them. I know it is getting late. It's about to be 8 o'clock for me. I'm in the Central Standard Time. I know it's quite early on the West Coast, but it's late on the East Coast. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Drop in the comments below. If I don't get any comments, that means everybody got a system. Everybody got a system. If you shy though, I get it. Feel free to DM me or inbox me. Send me a message. Send me a smoke signal. Do what you gotta do. Okay, we got a question. What if you're using credit cards? Credit cards, I'm going to talk about it from 2 perspectives. If you're using an Excel bookkeeping template to manage your financial transactions, you would treat it the same way as you would a bank account, because even though like you bought it on credit, it's still a transaction. Still a transaction. So you're still going to record it. And if you're using like a QuickBooks or something, you can connect credit cards to QuickBooks. Now, so you say is that accounts payable? No, it is not accounts payable because most of you should be using cash, the cash basis of accounting. Accounts payable is the accrual basis. And none of you should be on accrual basis. You should be on a cash basis. You should be on cash basis, not accrual. And that's what accounts payable, accounts receivable, all that is an accrual basis of accounting. All of you, most small businesses, all of you should be on cash basis. All of you. If you're not, change it. There's no reason for you to be on accrual basis of accounting. And that's what accounts payable, accounts receivable is. Right? So no accounts payable. No accounts payable. Because that especially affects you if you're like when you get to tax time. That means if you're keeping AP, accounts payable, on your books, you can't deduct that expense. That's what accrual accounting does. It limits what you can expense if you are keeping AP on the books. And we don't want that. We want cash basis. But yes, you still would treat credit cards the same way. You still want to record those transactions in the books, and credit cards can be connected to QuickBooks the same way like that bank accounts can. Do I need to submit quarterly taxes if I'm only selling services such as eye extensions? Oh, the IRS does not discriminate. They don't care what you're doing. They don't care what you're doing. If you're getting money, they want their piece quarterly. They're not annually. They want their taxes quarterly. It doesn't matter what service you provide or what product you sell. They want their taxes quarterly. If not, they will say, okay, here's this nice little penalty at the end of the year. Now, it's not unless you're making like 6 figures, it's not a big penalty, but it's a penalty, right? Like, who wants to pay more than they have to? It's kind of like here's a system, here's a process or a procedure. If you are, and I totally get the question, right? If you are high volume transactions and the transactions are somewhat smaller, right? And you say, well, do I really got to set aside, like, let's say if your eyelashes, how much do I pay for my eyelashes? Okay, when I got eyelash extensions, so the eyelash glued to the eyelash, that was like $100. But then when I get eyelashes like glued to like my skin, that's like $40. So I get what you're saying. Like, if eyelashes cost $40, do you really got to set aside a percentage of $40 for taxes? My answer is yes. Yes, you do. You do not have to do it transaction by transaction, right? You can wait to the end of the week. You can wait to the end of the month. You can wait to the end of the quarter if you want. But what you would do is you would take all that revenue that you made weekly, monthly, or quarterly, and you would set aside 25% for tax. And you need to send that to the IRS and to your state that you live in, if it's a taxing state, for quarterly taxes. That's what they want you to do. Yep. But a lot of people don't realize they got that penalty of the year because someone else does their taxes. The penalty is like this big, like literally. If you look at a tax return and you look at the penalty line, it's like that big. Like, it's the smallest. All the other numbers like this big. The penalty line is like, it's like that big. You don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. And then some tax professionals, you have the ability. So the software we use is like professional tax software, and you have the ability to suppress or turn off certain things. Some people turn off the penalty, so the client won't even see it. They won't even know it till they get a bill. Yeah, I know, right? So you probably, most people don't even realize it. But they're assessing a penalty. Okay, how do you pay taxes if you gave a service to a nonprofit? How do you pay taxes if you gave a service to a nonprofit? Did the nonprofit pay you money, or did you provide it as like a charitable thing? I would like more detail on that. Of what you gave a service. Now remember, guys, if you gave a service to a nonprofit, the IRS does not look at the price of your service as a deductible charitable donation. I think that's what you're saying. It was paid. So they paid you for a service. Yeah, you still got to hold taxes on that. You still got to pay taxes on that. Yes. The IRS don't care. They money. They just want their cut. They just want their money. And they want it quarterly. But that's all right. Because if we want to save money on taxes, we're going to tax plan proactively. We're going to proactively tax plan. And none of this waiting to April to say, save me money on taxes, or what deductions can you give me? We're going to proactively tax plan early. So when they want to nickel and dime us, that's okay, because we're doing things to not owe the tax in the first place. So that's all right. So you know what? It's 7:59. It's been 30 minutes. I'm gonna let you sweet, beautiful people go. If there are any other questions or comments, if you catching this on replay, go ahead and drop the question or the comment. I will respond. If not, you can DM me or inbox me, and we can talk about it there or jump on a quick call, whatever works for you. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it, and I will see you beautiful people later. Have an awesome night.